So, what up? Welcome to part 3. I just remade part 2. So if you were in part 2, I'm gonna save this one. Tabletop 2. Let's say I want to change the length. I realised I didn't really show you this, but it works anyway, so don't worry. Width 1500, and everything adapts. It's just wonderful. It is amazing. 1200. I'm gonna keep those as my default numbers, and these all adapt based on the thickness, which will be 50 millimeters now. Boom. Right. So I'm gonna close everything down that I don't need. I don't need that anymore. We did that one in part 2. Now I want to create the supports. So these things here. So for that, I'm gonna say File, New. Again, we're gonna say face-based family. So family, and then metric generic face-based, and then we are going to say, all right, I need to think about this, hold on. Right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm making this as I see. I'm going to delete these. What we're going to do, that's just me playing around. So I'm going to say RP for reference plane, 1 there to represent the thickness. We're looking at it in plan view in this case. 1 here to represent the length of it. So there to there, and then another one on this side. And I'll just say DI. I want this one, and this one to be equal, and this one and this one, we're going to call that one length, and this one to this one, we'll call it thickness. Now notice that I only put 1 reference plane here. I didn't put 1 on each side, because for this particular case I want this reference plane to represent this side here. It's not important to have the center point alignable. We don't need to do that, and we don't want to do it. So I'll come to front, and I put another reference plane here above the base reference plane, and I gave it a parameter called height. Remember, in the previous videos we made new ones here. We selected the dimension, and then we selected this button, and we gave it a name, and then yeah, you can see the previous videos to do that. Anyway, so for this one, I created these earlier. Call this one length, and I'll call this one thick, so thickness. And now what we need to do is, as you can see, these table things, legs, they're at an angle, so we need to cut these to meet that angle. And obviously these are 45-degree angles. For that, I would create, there's no keyboard shortcut for reference line. I would create one, but to make it easier for you guys, I'm just gonna go with the defaults. I'm gonna put this reference plane or reference line here to here, and again on that side. Now I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to say AL for align, that one to that point there, that one to that point there, and again that to that point, that to that point. We need to have drawn it at that point to do that, or else Revit seems to have problems with it. So make sure you've drawn it from that line to that line. Say DI, type DI again, say angular, that to that, and there, to 5, and same here. I'm going to create a new one of these, call it cut angle. We're not going to play with this one. We want it to be locked at 45 degrees because we're never going to change it. in this project anyway, if you're going to reuse it. So I'm going to put it to the bottom because it's something we're not going to use, and I'm going to type 45, say OK. Sorry, I'll come back to that, and lock it. Say OK. Now I'm going to say type AL for align that to that point and lock, and same again, that to that point and lock. So as I extend, they'll do that. And I think I could even change the angle. I think it will break it. Oh, maybe not. Doesn't break it. So you can do that. So okay, that's you sorted. Now I want to create an extrusion. So I'll say create extrusion, pick lines, that, and lock, that, and lock, that, lock, that one, lock, type TR for trim, that to that, that to that, that to that, that to that, and say OK. Come to front view, we'll just finish the shape off there, lock, and we'll come to 3D view, realistic mode, and there you go. Now to give it the material, I will go and open the table. You know, we'll load this one in, load into project. Anything that has the material, I'm just load it in, press escape, because now the material is in here. And so the tabletop is there. We're going to remove it in a minute, but first I'll select this one, give it a material, new parameter, material, okay, that one. Oh, and just remember, reference lines are visible, unlike reference planes, because they are lines, but they won't be visible in the project, so don't worry about that. What was I gonna say? And come here, come to material, cherry wood, okay, okay, and we're going to remove this one because we want to keep our model clean, because the material has already been loaded. We don't need that anymore. We don't want to overly make these models bigger than they need to be in terms of file size, so we'll remove that. And that's it. Literally, let's go to floor plan to see, do we need to worry about anything else? Reference planes, reference lines. Nope. I want to be able to, remember to keep these as references. Do not set them to not a reference, because we're going to use those. And we could, all of these will have a use. I mean, even the center point, we could change that one, but no, we'll keep that in there. Yeah, that's it. That's the supports done. I'm going to change the height to say 150 millimeters and the thickness to say 25 millimeters, and there you go. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm still having trouble with the lighting of this. I need to work out how to fix that, but basically that's it there. So that's your supports done. In part 4, I'm losing track now of these, we're going to compile them all in and make them all work together.